All right, lesson 2 out of unit 2 for 7th grade. We can use the distributive property. This is a super important property that you will use for the rest of your math career. How the distributive property works, it basically means to share equally, and it's usually done with multiplication, so multiply through. So those are kind of going to be our key kind of terms. And again, sometimes in math, I think the easiest way to talk about definitions is to just do examples. So if we look at our first example, the distributive property. So how it kind of works is that I have a number outside of my parentheses, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. And what I need to do is I need to take this number, and if I want to get rid of my parentheses, if I want to split it up, I need to multiply A times B, and I need to multiply A times C. So I could write this as AB plus AC. Again, they mean the exact same thing. Let's also just do a number example. So let's say we have 2 parentheses. Let's just say A plus 3. So I would take my 2 and I would multiply it into every single term inside my parentheses. 2 times A is 2A. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we can use the distributive property to help us with our mental math. Or again, this can be used as kind of estimations, just kind of ways to help us simplify stuff. So I am tasked with taking 20 multiplied by 102. And I don't know what 20 times 102 is off the top of my head. However, it is much easier for me to figure out what 20 times 100 is, and then also what 20 times 2 is. So if I think about 20 multiplied by 100, again, when I have multiples of 10 like this, I have to look at how many zeros I have, and I have 2, which means I'm going to take what I originally started with, which was 20, and add 2 more zeros. So 20 times 100 is 2,000. 20 times 2, I know, is just 40. So now all I have to do is take 2,000 and add 40 to get 2,040 as my final answer. So again, I showed my work because again, I wasn't just going to do the work in my head. But if you could do this in your head, if you're like, 20 times 100, add 2 zeros, 2,000. 20 times 2 is 40. 2,000 plus 40 is 2,040. All right, Mr. Larson's favorite, pancake breakfast. 397 people ate 4 pancakes each. How many pancakes were served, okay? So again, the distributive property tells us to do 4. Well, this just is multiplying. This tells us to do 397 times 4. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. However, I could figure out 4 times 400 a whole lot easier. And because I added 3 extra units, in order to get 397, I need to subtract those 3 units back. So again, mentally, if I'm thinking, how in the world do I do 400 times 4? Well, I think 4 times 4 is 16. And I'm going to count how many zeros I have. I have 1, 2, which means I need to add 2 zeros. And we can definitely do 3 times 4 in our head, which is 12. And because, again, this time I subtracted, I'm going to take 1,600, subtract 12, and get 1,588. 1,588. We've also got variables. So again, we got to make sure that we are using our like terms. If they're not like terms, you cannot combine them. So -5 times 4x, -5 times -3. Okay, remember that subtraction sign goes with that number. So that 3 is a -3. So -5 multiplied by 4x, -5 times +4 is -20, and I still have an x. -5 multiplied by -3. Two negatives, two sad people in a room wallow and feel so sad together that they are actually happy. They like being sad. So negative times a negative is a +15, which means that my answer is -20x plus 15. So that's how we would simplify. Because this has an x and this does not, I cannot go any further. Those are not like terms. That's all I can do. Very similar. Again, use the distributive property. It doesn't matter where that number is. I have to multiply each term inside my parentheses by 7. So 2x times 7 and 5 times 7. Again, this is a +5 because if I look, I have a plus sign. So I know that it's a +5. 2 times 7 is 14. I only have the x, so it comes along. 5 times 7 is 35. So again, my final answer is 14x plus +35. Again, why is it a plus? Because I don't have anything. If it's positive, it's a plus. Okay.